Hi, Misha here, making a quick little intro on Black Friday. I'm going to take this out, the Polish WBP Mini Jack, the new milled receiver gun that we previewed, along with its mag, 7.62x39. We're going to take it to the range, talk about how it shoots, see if we have any issues. Just promised you a full review. Have made a few minor changes, removed the end cap, put on a simple brace, just did a little screw on one here on a regular tube, and popped a weld and put on a Romanian Aimer flat shatter. Otherwise, this is stock, including having the extended safety and extended mag release. So with that, we'll try not to drop it on camera here. Told you this is extremely impromptu. We'll go to the range for the first shots and then go to the table to have a close look. Very first shots out of the milled Mini Jack. Got a problem. Dead trigger. Not what you would call an auspicious start, but before we automatically jump and blame the gun, let's check out a few other possibilities. Well, it looks like here's that round. It hit the primer quite good, so it looks like it was a bad primer in the ammunition.
Yeah, it's a good hard strike.
Yeah, so seemingly ammo related. We'll move on. Let's finish off that mag. All right.
What do you think?
Not bad for a little pistol. It would seem this was definitely the culprit. It hit it with good authority on the primer, dimpling it, even pushing it in. I don't know if it's a dead primer, a dud, or if it wasn't properly seated. Either way, a defective round, it would seem. Of course, we will keep shooting it to make sure, see if there's any reoccurrence. But first thoughts, when we finally were able to get a mag to it, pretty nice. I mean, we already know that the FB style, the Barrel style extended safety and mag catch are quite nice. It has the slightly oversized but pretty traditional pistol grip, standard AKM handguards. It really didn't seem heavy, at least when you're shooting it. Nice bolt throw. Nothing amazing, I would say, but just a good AK little pistol. Of course, you can put whatever muzzle device and brace you want on it. I just put this one on because it was easy to put on the rear. We'll talk more about that later. But let's run some more mags through it. Second mag to the Mini Jack. That's more like it.
Clean run?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, bad primers happen. You want to give it a go with your mag?
Sure.
Now we'll give Joe a shot with the Mini Jack.
That's probably a dead primer. Maybe not.
Yeah, you can't charge an AK when the safety's on.
Yeah.
What J-Ro did, anyone who's not super familiar with AKs, or even those who are, who just maybe aren't thinking, he had the safety on. And when the safety's on an AK, you can actually pull back the bolt. Here, let me pop the mag out. Set you down for a minute. You can pull back the bolt a bit. That is to check the chamber, but also it's not far enough back that the round, if it's in there, can be extracted. and another one loaded, or if there's no round in the chamber, one cannot be loaded for the magazine. Essentially, if you have a round in, it'll pull it back a bit, show you there's brass, or steel rather, and then go back forward. So when he thought he charged it, it just wasn't far enough. Of course, when this is back, you can charge it all the way. So what happens, and that's the point of practicing at the range, becoming familiar with guns. We are absolutely all guilty of it. And nothing wrong with it. Let's move on. In the preview video, the muzzle nut was still tack welded on. It's easy enough to Dremel off the spot weld, and then it gives you 14x1 left-hand threads, complete with spring-loaded plunger. I have no idea if they're symmetrical, if you can put a suppressor on, and it's also possible that one gun they might be and the next gun not, so best to check that out yourself. I just picked the Aimer flash hider because it was close to hand and seemed quite good for a shorty, but you can do whatever you want. As I said in the first video, this is a 10-inch barrel, so it's shorter than a typical Draco, full size, but it's longer than a mini Draco, that's 7.5 inches, and a slightly longer than your standard Crink AKSU, which is typically 8.2 to 8.5 inches, depending on the variant. It's also longer than an Ace, Gen 1 or Gen 2. Those are typically 8.3 to 8.5 inches. And it's longer than a Swiss SG553 SB, which is usually 8.9. It does take standard handguards. As you can see, it's about as short as you can get it and still have regular handguards work. The gas tube is shortened, so the piston and tube are short for this, but it does allow for standard handguards, so you can put whatever you want on it. The receiver, while being milled, is pretty standard, but it does have the side scope rail, leaf rear sight, top cover, takes a standard pistol grip, and in the back there is a threaded hole for standard AR tube. The threads actually go very deep, but as some have pointed out, there's no way to really time an AR-15 M4 tube unless you just get kind of an old school pistol style like this, which doesn't need timing. But if you did want to do that, which you can do, if you don't mind a little bit of work yourself, you could either drill a small hole and tap it in the top and put a set screw up here to time it from that direction, or there's enough space to do it behind the pistol grip or even under the pistol grip if you wanted to set it from the bottom. So out of the box like this, you can just screw something on, and if you want something a little different, a small amount of do-it-yourselfing would probably kind of fit the bill. Whatever you'd like to do. With that, yeah, let's keep putting mags through this gun, see how it performs. Let's give the WBP another go. There we go.
No problems that time.
Nope. Now, we recorded this review kind of in between other events, like I said, on Black Friday, so the day after Thanksgiving. So limited time, and the only mags I had with me were the WBP 30 rounders. I did bring 4, tried them all, they all worked fine. I thought it was a good mag, mostly because it's WBP. Also, it's what the gun ships with, but any AK mag will fit. I grabbed a Arsenal 40 round waffle, circle 10 waffle, because short guns with long mags are just cool. But yeah, any standard mag will fit. Also, I grabbed a Polish AKML flash hider because it was laying over there, just to show you that, yeah, any 14x1 will fit just fine. Actually, that flash hider would have been handy for this last clip, as we were shooting it right as it was getting dark. And let's see how nice this trigger is in action. Pull this mag out again. Feels pretty good, the WBP on the table. But let's see what we can do with it at the range. Mini Jack, last mag of the, well, almost night now. And it shoots.
And then some.
And by this point, we're getting out of daylight, so it's enough. But we did put a couple 100 rounds through it in total, and never had anything like that first weird issue. So considering how the cartridge looks, we're just going to say it was a dead primer because of cheap Russian ammo. It's how it goes. Again, all the WBP mags we took worked just fine. As you saw, the trigger is pretty good. At least you can get some good things on it. It didn't get hot in the handguard. And yeah, the build quality was nice. The extended devices are nice. The bolt throw is quite nice. The milled receiver really doesn't make it heavy to speak of. This thing weighs about 6 pounds without the brace or muzzle device on it, so 6 pounds unloaded. All kitted up and everything, it's still well under 7. Now, this brace was just something I threw on. I think I could come up with a better solution. Maybe even getting a similar adapter and making a folder. Of course, Loctite. There's plenty of thread there. It screws in very nice and even. So you could always just Loctite it. Or, as I said a minute ago, if you must, you could always drill and tap the bottom or the top to put in a set screw and use that to fix the tube. It's a thing. Some people don't like it. That's okay. The stamped receiver mini jack is still available if you don't want to go milled. But some people like milled, and some people just like something that's different. So the range test, review, what have you, it was fine. It was a nice AK pistol. Frankly, what I would expect from a WBP, built complete with a barrel from FB Radom. And really, for more details and specs, you can check out our first preview video, but I just wanted to get you some actual live firing of this. As time goes on, we'll run a few mags through it here and there as we can over the end of this year and beginning of the next. If there's any wear or tear apparent on the receiver or bolt carrier, we'll let you know. At this point, frankly, a couple 100 rounds is too early to really expect to see wear and tear. It was just kind of a function test while we had a minute between dinner and the end of the day. So, not at all disappointed. Nice gun. And would love to know what you think. Has anyone else picked one of these up? If so, have you had a chance to fire yours yet? Cost on these, I think pricing is like $1,300. So, cheaper than the Arsenal 77K, which is around $1,900 now. And not a whole lot more than stamped pistol options. Those tend to be $9 to $1,000 these days. A little bit more, but it's up to you if the machined receiver and threaded end is a good or bad thing. Nice paint finish. Yeah, everyone we showed this to over the holiday thought it was a good looking AK. With that, we hope you had a good holiday, a restful time. Got to see friends and family. If you could, please like, share, subscribe. And if you could help support the channel over at Patreon, there's a link in the description below. This is Misha. Catch you very soon. Next time.